And yes, I do own the phone number 1-800-GET-FUCKED. Call it, it's fun. Leave me a voicemail. Hey, can I just ask you guys a question before we start? I'm sure you've covered this on one of your episodes, but when you do 1001 songs, will you then continue and will you keep doing episodes? Like, would you go up to 1005, for instance?
I think we'll transition just to full-time animal facts after this.
Okay, yeah.
There's heaps more animals. Yeah.
Eventually you'll run out of animals, though. That's the thing.
Oh, I don't know about that. There's millions of them.
Yeah.
Do you reckon there's more songs or animals in the world?
Fuck, that's an interesting question.
We should do the whole podcast on this.
All right.
Yeah. Well, the question is, are you talking about individual, there's fucking 6 billion ants? Or are we saying ant is one animal?
I think it's ant. 6 billion ant.
See, now you get it. Yeah. The plural of any animal is just a single version of that animal.
Yeah.
We should also mention, just before we keep going, that Mike is also on the Hamish and Andy podcast and Hamish and Andy's Remembering Project.
Yeah, that's right. Which
means he's probably the most famous person that we have ever spoken to.
Oh, except Dan Southern,
which is remarkable to me because I am on occasionally pop up on the Hamish and Andy main pod, but I read the ads on the Hamish and Andy Remembering Project. Of which I suck at reading ads. So thanks to everyone for letting me know how bad my ad reads are.
Don't worry, Mike, I skip them.
Well, people
well, that's the thing. Just hit the skip 15-second thing. You don't have to listen to me.
It's so easy.
I think your voice...
I did want to mention one of my favourite parts of the Hamish and Andy podcast is when they call you in to talk about Pokemon or anything that I'm also a bit of a, savant in. So I'm sitting there
cool.
We
come on, guys.
We had this idea before Animal Facts really just snowballed into the Goliath
behemoth.
We were going to do a bonus show on a Saturday where Bevo just tries to explain Pokemon to me, and me having no concept of anything to do with it whatsoever, and then him trying to explain the intricate web of Pokemon to someone that really doesn't.
I think it's funny because Animal Facts is so far removed from the core podcast, which is songs, right? So first of all, it's amazing to think about how you got to that point as it is. But secondly, I'm sure there's probably a bigger market for Pokemon facts than there is for just general animal
Now we're
facts.
talking.
I think
we are talking.
Yeah.
I'm going to start sleeping.
Yeah, but how else would we know a lot of facts about a lot of animals, and how else would those facts get out unless we do the episodes telling people all those facts? I think there's people genuinely wondering, can I fit a leopard? Can I fit a leopard in my ass?
It's the second most Googled question.
I've said it before. Yeah. It's the shit that David Attenborough doesn't cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's not something you can just try. I think I'll find out by doing that. I'll put the leopard in my ass. It's no, you can't just. Where are you going to get a leopard for starters?
Yeah.
Secondly, it'll tear your arsehole up before you can, really give it a proper attempt. You'd have to get a dead one.
Got a chart on my wall that has spots. And
yeah. So you listen to our podcast and you figure that stuff out. We help people.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Sensible facts.
Let's talk about music.
Yeah. Well. Let's. When I was talking to you, we were working out the details come on the podcast, Mike, and it's all right, so you can pick whatever song you want. It doesn't matter. We'll do it. And this is I'm finding out to be the hardest choice for so many people when I talk to them to come on the podcast. It's but what song? What can I do? And we've done 220 something episodes, so it's we've knocked a few of the big ones off already. But
the one that I wanted to do was Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles, but you've done that one. I scrolled down and I saw it straight away.
Yeah,
but I do
Harry
hate
Styles
that
has
song.
many other fruit related songs though, so there's plenty of space.
There you go.
Another one called Kiwi.
Yeah.
He's got another one called I Fuck Grapefruits. I'm Harry Styles.
There's a B-side.
Yeah.
Brackets, I'm Harry Styles.
I'm Harry Styles. Yeah, he's just getting lazy with naming the songs now. But I was happy when you pulled out and said Year 3000 by Busted. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. That is a song podcast worthy for sure.
Yeah, great.
So I'm excited about it.
Can I say, like I said, it was very hard, and like I'm sure we'll get into it, but like this song, one of the reasons that I hate this song so much is because I love it so much, right? I'm sure you have a few of those over the run of episodes.
More than not, I think.
Like, this song is too good for who made this song,
I
right?
know.
This song has no right to be as catchy as it is, and that's why I chose it.
It's like a 2 + 2 = 7 sort of equation where you go, none of these parts should work, but they do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like one thing I should say is a lot of people misattribute this song to the Jonas Brothers because they did a cover of it, but the song is originally by Busted. Dogs. Exactly.
Those
dogs. Fucking dogs. That's
should
what I
be
call
the
them.
Jonas Dogs.
Yeah.
The Dog Brothers.
Well, all the Dog Brothers.
All the Dog Brothers. Take your pick. Either way. Yeah. Don't get me started on that lot. Okay, let's get into the lyrics here because they're fantastic. Okay,
and
the first.
Can I just say, are we allowed it? Do we unpack the lyrics as we go? Like, can I chime in? Because I've got a lot to say about this song.
One verse at a time. So wait, like hold your applause till the end of the verse, and then we'll go ham.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. First verse. One day when I came home at lunchtime,
bookmark that
I heard a funny noise. Went out to the backyard to find out if it was one of those rowdy boys. Stood there was my neighbour called Peter and a flux capacitor.
What?
We have to stop. We have to stop.
Shit. That's it. That's the first verse.
I didn't actually look these up until right now. So.
That's the first verse.
Can I please go first?
Yeah. Yes.
First of all, the song starts like a 7-year-old writing a story in grade 1 writing
in
class,
crayon.
right?
Yeah.
One day when I came home at lunchtime, I heard a funny noise. Now, the second thing about this is this is my theory. You should never use meal types as song lyrics unless it's breakfast at Tiffany's. Lunchtime and dinner time never work in a song lyric form. I'm telling you, you find me one song that adequately uses lunchtime. Oh, yes, you've got one.
Sorry, I should have let you finish. I haven't got one for lunchtime, but I have one for dinner.
What's the dinner one?
There's a band called Fires Were Started, and they've got a song where the lyrics say, to start the song off, they say, "It's dinner time, cunts," and then the song kicks off. Yeah.
Okay. Well, never use lunchtime in your song lyrics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look. Admittedly, it wouldn't have had the same effect if he said, "It's lunchtime, cunts."
Exactly.
That's on the second album.
Have a sandwich.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, but the real question is like, who comes home at lunchtime?
Yeah.
I guess
like
you
at
gotta
school, I used to go home for lunch at school, and at first was this novelty. It was like, oh, you're in high school, you can go home for lunch now. I was like, fuck yeah. Now lunch was like a 40-minute break.
Minutes. Yeah.
It was like at least a 15-minute walk to my house.
You get all sweaty walking home, chuck your bag down.
Yeah.
Like, don't have time to make a sandwich, walk back to school.
Like,
you literally sit down on the couch and like, got to get back to school.
Immediately
get up.
Science.
What's that noise?
You just walk in the door and then turn around and walk out.
It's like, how good is that? How good's been in high school?
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah. So he's heard a noise in his backyard, right? He's gone out there.
And then this is what I love about the next lyric. He went out to the backyard to find out if it was one of those rowdy boys. Now, this is the thing. At no point in the song, at any other point, do we learn who are the Rowdy Boys? Why is he worried about the Rowdy Boys being in his backyard? Are the Rowdy Boys a notorious gang in his city? Are they a group of bullies from his school? Like, who are the Rowdy Boys? And are we expected to know who they are?
I reckon it's one of those things. I'm sure everyone's got this story where, like, you've got that neighbor that's just fucking always making some noise.
Yeah.
The Rowdy Boys.
But like,
fucking Rowdy Boys.
The song makes it sound like we're supposed to know the Rowdy Boys. Like,
there's meant to be a backstory. Like,
I'm thinking it's like the Hardy Boys that are solving crimes and stuff, but like they couldn't use that.
Yeah, so that always annoyed me that there's these characters in the song, the Rowdy Boys, and they never appear again in any of Busted's discography, as far as I can tell.
No, but you've been waiting for the prequel to Year 3000. It's like, finally, album 7's out. They're going to explain about who the Rowdy Boys are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing else on the Rowdy Boys, but as soon as he hears a noise out the back, they're the first suspects.
Exactly.
Fucking Rowdy Boys are back.
Also, like,
right, so what this says is that the Rowdy Boys are a huge thing in this neighborhood. Like, every time something goes on in this neighborhood, people are like, oh, it's those fucking Rowdy Boys again. They're back, right?
Menaces.
Now, this time...
What do you reckon that funny noise is, too? Like, funny noise could be anything, but I'm imagining it's like one of those, like, you know, those whistles that go...
Yeah,
that's a funny noise.
Funny noises.
That's a funny noise.
Like a slide whistle.
I don't remember the flux capacitor being that noisy in Back to the Future.
No, that's
out of everything in Back to the Future. I don't remember going like, oh, how shit would it be to be in that DeLorean for so long with the noise of that flux capacitor? Like,
no, the time circuits. They make all the noise.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
also,
as it's
you've got the
turn
flux
off and on
capacitor,
again.
but no vehicle. So what? You're going nowhere.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Maybe it's like he's got it built in, like Peter's actually, you know, a bit of a predator himself. Maybe he's part of the Rowdy Boys. I don't know, but he's told him it's a flux capacitor, and he's got to do something horrible to use it.
Well, here's my other thing about this is never use the name Peter in your song lyrics, right? And it really does feel like, particularly with Rowdy Boys and Peter, it's just like, we need to fill syllables here. All right.
Yeah.
My neighbor called Peter. The other thing is, you know, we assume Peter is a homeowner. You know, he lives next door. He's a homeowner. So why is he setting up his time machine in this kid's backyard?
Well, according to the video, it's the fucking kid from Stuart Little.
Yeah.
We'll get
Where's your mouse, fuckwit?
But yeah, so far, and we got to remember, like, the voices of the guy singing it. It's like, one day when I came home at lunchtime, right?
Heard a funny noise.
It's so pathetic.
I don't remember. Like, I know the song, but I don't remember the lyrics being this, like, childish.
Yeah.
Like, it came flooding back to me quickly, but it was surprising. Yeah.
The fact that he says, stood there was my neighbor called Peter. Like, you just wouldn't say a sentence like that. Like, if you're telling somebody, like, now stood there was my neighbor called Peter. Like, you just say, now stood there was Peter. He's my neighbor. You just say that. Like, I can imagine him just looking out the window and going like, there's my neighbor called Peter.
and what's that he's got with him? Is that some kind of capacitor of the flux variety?
Yeah, and
that's still there.
Yeah,
just back to someone said before that you without the vehicle, like, we learn in the movie that even if you've got the flux capacitor and the vehicle, the time machine, it's still worthless if you don't have something like plutonium.
That's right. Yes,
or garbage,
like plutonium.
Or garbage. Like, you need that fuel for it to work. So it's like reliant on a lot of things. Having a flux capacitor, that's not doing shit.
Also needs to be going very, very fast. But
I guess we just have to assume that Peter has covered all that stuff. But again, these are the gaps that the song never really
It's
covers.
a lot of gaps. We've got a whole gang bloody roaming the neighbourhood, and now we've got a guy that can build time machines, all in the same neighbourhood. It's amazing. And we're only one verse in.
Yeah. And can we say, it's actually never confirmed if the funny noise was the flux capacitor. Like, they could be two totally separate events.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to keep
whistle.
open for that. Yeah,
100%.
The funny
That's
whistle.
right.
Peter's just out there.
What's that noise? Hello, Peter here. Sorry about the noise. Hey, I've got a flux capacitor. I'm your neighbour.
Sorry, I was just practicing my tuba.
No, don't worry, it's not the Rowdy Boys. I took care of those guys.
The pre-chorus. He says, he told me he built a time machine like the one in a film I've seen. Yeah.
Contractually obliged to not mention the film I've seen.
Spielberg's on the list.
Yeah. It's like we can get away with saying flux capacitor, but nothing else that relates to the movie.
No. Yeah. They can't say DeLorean?
And
Surely
does
they
this is what they're saying is that Peter, he walks outside, Peter's standing there, just standing there, and he goes,
He's just standing there.
I've actually built a time machine is what he's saying. I've built a time machine just like, have you seen Back to the Future? And then we assume the narrator's like, oh yeah, I have. Yeah, well, this is like that. Is that what's happening here?
There's so much. It's what's happening between the words that makes really tells the story.
In my head,
exactly.
In my head, he's gone. He told me he built a time machine. Hey, Peter, how you going? Yeah, I've built a time machine. Yeah. What's that noise? What was that funny noise you made before?
Was that the Rowdy Boys? Are they back? Aren't
I'm
you
back again.
listening? I've built a time machine. Yeah, but the Rowdy Boys might be out here. I don't know if I want to be out here for a while.
The last thing we need is the Rowdy Boys going back in time. The whole at the end is very just like throwing off his world-changing invention here. Not impressed at all. So, it's like Peter tells him every second day that he's built a time machine.
Laws of physics. Defying.
Yeah. Okay, Peter. All right, I'm going to go back inside. I've got to go back to school. It's lunchtime.
Yeah. I only got 40 minutes.
Yeah. The chorus. We're going to hear more from Peter. He says, he said, I've been to the year 3000. Not much has changed, but they live underwater. And your great-great-great-granddaughter is pretty fine. All
right, this is so fucking stupid. For so many reasons.
Guys, at this point of the song, do you believe Peter or do you think he's a psycho?
Yeah.
I
he's
think
a psycho
I think
because
he's trying to get this young boy into his house. That's what it sounds like to me.
As much as I want the events that happen in Back to the Future to be real, and as much as I love that movie, if a fucking dude was standing there with a flux capacitor, that's a red flag. That's
He's
a fictional.
basically just got some LED tube lighting from Bunnings, and it's just turned on. He's like, this goes back in time. You want to come in and see it?
Yeah. My first reaction to that, Peter's like, I got a flux capacitor. I'd be like, that's a fictional movie, Peter. Like that's not real. And then he says, I've been to the year 3000. And you go, all right, I'll buy it. Tell me about the year 3000. He says, not much has changed, but they live underwater. Okay, there's another red flag. If they live underwater, everything's changed.
That's a substantial
Life
change
as we
to-
know it is based on breathing oxygen. And if we're not doing that anymore, then everything's changed as much as it can change. Secondly, he says your great-great-granddaughter is pretty fine. Now, the maths doesn't line up there. Like great-great-great-granddaughter, that's 4 generations. It doesn't take 1,000 years for 4 generations to play out.
Yeah, but I think what we're supposed to be filling in there is by the year 2400, they've discovered immortality. So the great-great-great-granddaughter is like 600 years old, but she's pretty fine.
She's not hot. She's all right.
Pretty fun.
Yeah.
She's pretty fine. Now, the Jonas Brothers actually censored this. They say your great-great-great-granddaughter is doing fine. Right?
That's nice.
She's
That's
okay,
nice to know, though.
Much better.
In this version of the song, Peter is actually saying, hey,
hitting
your
on.
great granddaughter. She's pretty hot, man. Like,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
totally go there. You know,
Yeah.
hurry up and make her.
She's about 600 years old at this point, but still pretty fine.
Yeah.
See, Peter's just so suspect. Like, you
Oh,
can't trust
fucking
this
oath
guy
he
at all.
is. Like,
Also-
like,
It's odd that
of
not much has changed considering 1,000 years at this point has passed, because fucking shit changed yesterday. Shit changed 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, think about 1985 to 2005 and the innovations that came. You're telling me in 1,000 years nothing changed except they figured out how to make submarines better. Right. That's it.
Every single aspect of life is exactly the same, except we all have gills now.
Yeah.
We figured out how to make electricity work. Like, we're all good. We're just underwater.
He starts explaining basically the plot to Kevin Costner's Waterworld. He's just all he does is like tell them movie plots for other things. It's just like, see, the thing is that there is some sort of people that live above the land, but some have gills and they want to pay for things with dirt. It's like, wait, isn't that a movie? No,
I don't think so.
What's that funny noise?
it's like,
If
no,
it
that's
is
not a movie.
It's a coincidence.
He's like, that's not a movie. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Anyway, so Kevin Costner's there, right? And he's on a boat. he's searching
like
for
Kevin
dry.
Costner.
He's searching for dry land. He wants it. He desperately wants to find it.
Sheep's skull.
Yeah, okay. The second verse. It gets better. Here we go. He took me to the future in the flux thing. And I saw everything. Boy bands and another one. And another one. And another one. Triple-breasted women swim around town totally naked. These are the words.
Not much has
These
changed.
are the words. I did not make that up. They are the words.
Not much has changed, but now women have 3 breasts and swim around naked.
Women's breasts have increased by 33%.
The entire music industry is now boy bands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
like if only they
Another
knew
one.
that
Another
shit
one.
died out very quickly after they released this song.
The thing, like, if there's 3-breasted swimmers going around, how did Peter not bring this up in the first chorus when he said nothing much has changed, so people are underwater, and then he takes old mate back there and he's like, and she's got 3 tits and I can see all of them and she's swimming.
And you know what else? You know what else?
You
is
said
weird?
nothing's changed, Peter. What the fuck is that?
That triple-breasted woman might have been his great granddaughter as well.
It might have been. Yeah, it's
Peter
like,
might have
see, I
seen
told
her.
you. I told you, didn't I? Pretty
He just-
fucking fine.
He just assumes. Yeah, that's another weird one. Going back to that granddaughter thing, like, it's weird to talk to the idea of talking to a granddad about his granddaughter and saying your granddaughter's fucking sexy, dude. Like you would never fucking do that.
It's cringy.
No, but is there
Looks
a bit
just
of
like ya.
separation when it's 1,000 years? Like, if I said to you, like, hey, your great granddaughter's really hot, you'd be like, oh, cool, that's good for her.
Yeah, that's
like
you
you're
probably
so
would.
far
So-
removed
oh,
at
yeah.
that point.
Yeah. I'd be more curious as to how the evolution took place for women to suddenly have 3 breasts. Like, what needed to have happened here in the
more-
gene
more
pool at
babies.
some point?
Yeah.
Triplets getting born.
Yeah,
And-
maybe.
And then that's another weird thing about
Also,
Peter.
1,000 years is pretty quick for that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon it'd be like a cosmetic, surgery thing. Just the latest trend.
It's the latest trend. It's not arse implants anymore. It's 3 tits.
I got arse implants in the middle of my
you have to
chest.
be naked all the time.
Do you reckon that, like, when you picture this, do you reckon it's like 3 in a row? It's like 2 on the front and 1 on the back? Or
Total
Titty
Recall. That's like this. That's Total Recall. Hey, 3 tits. Yeah, that's what's annoying about this.
About movies.
But they're loosely talking about time travel movies, which is like my favorite type of movies. And it's so annoying that they're like, let's do a song called Year 3000 and like and they've just borrowed like little bits of misinformation from the movies that they think they've seen somewhere. Like they're just like, there's a time travel movie and they've got like a flux thing. Put that in the lyrics.
Yeah.
Flux thing.
What wasn't it called? You called it something earlier in the songs. I don't remember. Just say flux thing. We've gone too far. I can't go back.
I can't go. Look up. No.
No. My head's here now. I'm looking at this bit of the page. It's so fucking dumb. This whole thing is so dumb. Like
it's really dumb.
But to the point where you go, are they taking the piss?
Yeah,
like,
and that's always been like my kind of hesitation in this podcast. Like, I don't think we'd ever do a Weird Al Yankovic song or anything like that because it's like he's actually making fun of himself.
If it's self-aware, it's very hard to make fun of.
Yeah, but this whole thing is packaged like it was a serious pop punk song.
Attempt.
Yeah. Yes. But the sort of Disney version of it, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
And good enough for the Jonas Brothers to take a stab at as well.
The Jonas Brothers, like, they got so much traction off their version of it, that I feel bad for Busted.
Don't feel bad for Busted.
Can you name another Busted song? Are there any other famous Busted songs?
Yes, there is.
Is there really?
Yeah. That's what I go to school for.
Okay.
That's what I go to school for.
But what's the song called?
And if we're wondering if like Busted just like fucking around with us here, no, they're not, because you can go and look up the lyrics to "That's What I Go to School For," and it is just as fucking dumb.
Pure oil.
It's basically them just wanting to smash their teacher for a song.
We're actually about to find out in the bridge that they make it okay. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. They've got pre-chorus is the same. Chorus is the same. Nothing's changed. They're underwater. The granddaughter's still fine. The bridge. I took a trip to the year 3000. This song has gone multi-platinum. Everybody bought our 7th album. It outsold Michael Jackson. I took a trip to the year 3000. The song had gone multi-platinum. Everybody bought our 7th album. 7th album. 7th album.
All right.
So,
all right.
A few things here that definitely jump to mind. Firstly, in 1,000 years, because this song came out in 2002, so in 1,000 years they only released 7 albums. Right, which is pretty
Not necessarily.
low.
Maybe they release a lot and everyone just likes that 7th album.
That was a big seller.
Yeah, that's true. The other thing about this song that I'd love your guys' opinion on is, do you think, because like eventually in time we'll all be dead, but it will get to the year 3000. Do you think this song will make a resurgence in the actual year 3000 and become really popular again?
Maybe ironically.
Because you'd think it'd have to.
I hope so. Like, if that's all I can hope for the humankind in the future, is that this is ironically played at New Year's Eve in Times Square of whatever that is.
Yeah.
In the
I think that'd be
countdown
awesome.
to the
It's
year
also
3000.
It's bold to write a song that predicts your future, assuming it's true. Like it's self-fulfilling almost in a way. Or because they've invented time travel, do they go and fuck with it and make it?
If you were going to fuck with time travel, would you put the bar so low that you just want it to go multi-platinum? Like, it's not that much. Like, for 1,000 years, I'm going to say, like, we might have fucking multi-platinum downloads on goddamn our Lee Harding episode. Like,
See, I reckon if I discovered time travel, one of the first things I would do is travel to the past and be like, hey guys, here's my new song. It's called Hey Jude. It goes like this. And when I'm finished with this one, here's my next song. It's called Bohemian Rhapsody. Goes a bit like this. And I would just
I'd go back and do that, but I would only know how to play like sort of the verse of it.
Killing
and then it'd be like, yeah. Just be like, yeah, this is Hey Jude. It's sort of like this. And,
you're like, Hey Jude. Zoom, 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 silence, better. You get it. You get it.
I am the walrus.
Imagine how hard it would be to pull off too. Like if you did Bohemian Rhapsody as an example, like, you know, and now here's the opera bit. Like just like Leo Freddie would have done, except with none of the cred.
You've stormed into some like record executive's office and it's like, I'm going to sing it on the spot for you.
Your version of it with all the harmonies.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy. And that bit is like heaps. There's heaps of voices on that bit, and then it goes back to me. Easy come, and then the next bit is like, security. There's a fucking mental patient in my office. Can you please get the fuck out of here?
I promise, it's a hit.
It's gonna be.
It's
it'll be the best song of the whole
thing,
world,
and it's making a strange sound. They're stoked they outsold Michael Jackson, even though Michael Jackson's been dead for like 900 years.
Unfortunately, this song didn't foresee Michael Jackson dying like 7 years after it.
That's
and also,
true.
they probably, at this point, did they know Michael Jackson was an alleged pedophile?
Big time. It
Because
goes
the
back
Jonas...
to that. It's that the South Park thing of the I know it's had some kids, but it's Michael Jackson. It's Michael Jackson.
The Jonas Brothers changed it to Kelly Clarkson, funnily enough.
At least they didn't change it to R. Kelly.
Barlow.
I mean, but like, who hasn't outsold Kelly Clarkson?
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Most people.
It's like that's like making the limbo pole head height.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, what do we got? They got choruses. There's so many choruses. The only difference we get in here is they give us a hey, hey, hey at one bit, and they go, oh, at one bit.
Ghost.
And the harmonies, the harmonies at the end of this song is where the song is, where you're just like, wow, like there's so many layers of harmony, and you're like, this is actually so good, but I can't love it.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's like they live underwater, and you keep repeating that over and over and over again. It's like, yeah, we get it. We get it.
Surely there were other things about the future you could have put in this song, but
so many things. Like it goes to for something that is meant to be about imagination and storytelling and everything. As far as I'm going into the future, they got that part of it. We're going to go to the year 3000 and write about what happened there. They're like, so what happened? Oh, nothing much.
Not much lives underwater.
Some people are underwater, I guess. Yeah.
I guess.
That's it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I saw there was this chick swimming. It looked like 3 breasts, but I mean, I don't know.
I couldn't be sure.
Fast swim.
Yeah.
Rapid,
mostly
pace.
it's exactly like, what did you do today? I went to school. Yeah, you do that. That's pretty much the same kind of shit you do.
Yeah, I got to come home at lunch though. Thought there was a rowdy boy in my backyard. That was a bit of excitement.
Turns out there wasn't.
Because, you are expecting the song to take a turn and reintroduce the Rowdy Boys, and it just never comes. And that's the most disappointing part.
I wanted them to really bring it home at the end, the outro. Like, bring back the Rowdy Boys. Like, the Rowdy Boys snuck into the back of the time machine, and now the Rowdy Boys are loose in the medieval times.
Now they're busted.
Yeah, they stole the almanac. And now the Rowdy Boys are rich as astronauts.
They stole our 7th album.
Yeah. See? Oh, we could have come up with a better... Maybe we all need to get our heads together and write a sequel to this.
Year 4000.
Year 4000. Yeah. Where everything changed.
What's changed? Not much. We're back on land now, so...
Water receded. Yeah.
So technically less than had changed before.
I think living underwater was just a fad. It was just a thing of the times.
Everyone's taken off that 3rd breast.
Yeah.
Back to 2.
Someone did it on TikTok and, I don't know, it just took off. All this underwater living.
This is hot. This podcast is sponsored by Ghetto Bird Studio. Do you write music? Do you want people to hear it? Do you want your music to sound less shit than it does right now? If you answered yes to these questions, then you should record your music at Ghetto Bird Studio. We record all types of music: rap, rock, hip-hop, jazz, jazz fusion, metal, electro, even country. We can't promise that your music won't be shit, but we can promise to make it sound less shit. Here's a before and after.
Grab my body and spank my ass. Grab my body and spank my ass.
Contact us now at ghettobirdstudio.com.au.
Tell these haters. Non-stop music.
Okay, so it was released on the 13th of January 2003. It's written by Matthew Fletcher, Matt Willis, Charlie Simpson, and James Bourne. James Bourne. It's like, good God, it's James Bourne.
The name's Bourne. James Bourne.
The song was covered by, like, the Jonas Brothers, like we said, but also 5 Seconds of Summer.
Really?
Yeah, Five Sauce got their hands on it and did a cover of it. Back when they were YouTube celebrities, it was one of their, like, early, million view cover things that they would be doing on YouTube. The lyrics.
I think Silverchair covered this one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When I was searching for this on Spotify, it came up with the Silverchair song.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It was like Spotify was like, "We know what you're trying to do. It's Silverchair, right?" And I'm like, "I don't know, busted." And they're like,
Busted.
"Surely you mean Silverchair?"
Year
Here it is.
2000. No,
Yeah,
it wasn't
2000.
a typo. 3,000. Yeah. Yeah. Like Mike said before, they did alter the lyrics to Kelly Clarkson instead of Michael Jackson there. And cut pretty much all the sexual innuendo of this song out. I wonder what they did with the second verse. I'd have to look
There's
at
not
it.
much sexual
With the
innuendo, is there?
three-titted naked woman swimming around. Like that whole second verse was pretty raunchy. I just cut it out completely. It's like, we're gonna do one verse and 7 choruses. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, they didn't say 3 tits. They just said normal amount of female
In a bra.
Yeah. Mammary glands.
Double-breasted women swimming around town, suitably
Fully,
clothed.
fully
not naked.
modestly clothed.
Respectable ladies. Apparently, James Bourne said he was inspired by his obsession with Back to the Future. Hence the references to the flux capacitor and the time machine. It's like, do you really need to clarify that, James? Like,
Dan
Come on,
Southern's, I see Dan Southern's face right now because he also has a song about Back to the Future and the flux capacitor.
yeah, he
Bit more
does, doesn't
factual.
he? I forgot
Bit
about
more,
that.
I went the
more,
other way. I went the other way in my song. I put in a
It's
ton of
scientifically
references.
correct.
Yeah. No, I put in a
Atomic.
bunch of really obscure references that if you're a fan, like you might get it, but if you're a crazy fan, you probably know what every one of those things mean.
You know what that's called? Narrowing the market.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really about making money, opposite to this
wasn't?
song.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. In February 2008, Kai McPhail and Owen Doyle, 2 former members of Busted.
Oh, and Doyle rules.
Don't these people all sound made up? Yeah. It's
Kyle McFay. Literally
McPhail.
sounds like Kyle McFake.
McPhail. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So he goes with his ID. They're like, fuck off, mate. They're not getting any with that. They took the band to the High Court, claiming £10 million in unpaid royalties. The pair maintained that they wrote 4 of Busted's tracks, including this one. They wrote it with James Bourne and Matt Willis when the band were called the Termites. And apparently the other 2 left the Termites and took the songs with them. And apparently they said that the group's manager, Richard Rashman...
Dick Rashman.
Yeah. Dick Rashman. You can't
Better
make
go
this shit
get
up.
to the doctor.
Yeah, old Dickie
What is-
Rashman.
What are you
He-
scratching for? Oh, Dick Rash, man.
And can I just say the lyric that they changed triple-breasted women to in the Jonas Brothers? So they changed it to girls there with round hair like Star Wars float above the floor.
Well,
so they just mention another science fiction film
that has nothing to do with time travel.
Yeah. No, it is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's actually time and space travel.
Well, but they don't travel in time in Star Wars, do they?
Well, no, but it was a long time ago.
Swim in the sea.
I guess, like what the camera crew did.
Yeah.
Yeah. How else did George Lucas get there if he didn't have a time machine? It was so long ago.
They really wanted to get away from that triple-breasted women line. They're like, just
wasn't
throw
going
in
to work for them.
Throw them off the scent, Star Wars or something like that.
Yeah, what about round hair? You know, all the girls with their round hair.
Yeah.
Like, what? They're what? So Rashman threatened the two and had them kicked out of the band and had other members brought in. So old Dickie Rashman didn't like MacPhail and Doyle and got rid of him. Apparently they were coerced by threats and pressure. Whatever that means. Guy sounds like a standover man.
He just pushes up against them.
Rowdy behaviour.
He
applies pressure to them.
Threatened them in the signing paperwork relinquishing their royalty rights to James Bourne and Willis on the group songs. Jason Bourne, he's a rhythm guitarist, he's gone on to be a bit of a songwriter. He's written songs for other people. Big celebrities, such as Mel C of the Spice Girls, and our mate, JC Chazez.
Chazez.
Chazez of NSYNC.
That's pretty crazy that Mel C picked him up.
Well, how many fucking Mel C songs do you know?
Well, that's sort of what I'm getting at. Is like, what's she doing with it? Like, okay, she's gone from Spice Girls and she's gone, all right, I want to keep releasing songs, don't I? I'm Mel C in that. And then she's like, she could have any songwriter in the friggin' world. She's like, get me the guy from, I don't know.
I don't think she could. Oh, you know what she's
the
probably
sporty
doing?
One?
Swimming in a giant vault of coins.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she could get anyone with that, using that vault of coins.
Well,
and she's like,
someone
go on, get me the guy from
Jason
Busted.
Bourne. Yeah. It's like, get me Bourne.
By name, yeah. Yeah, Bourne.
Yeah.
Jason Bourne.
James Bourne.
James Bourne, sorry.
Matt Willis is a bass player. He has been in and out of rehab since the age of 11.
Whoa.
Yeah, young.
God,
He finally, you know what got him sober? This is hectic. He went on a 5-day binge with Amy Winehouse and didn't touch a drop after.
Wow. She outdrank him.
Yeah, she couldn't handle it. He's like, I'm giving up. I can't do it. He also became a member of the Church of Scientology. But they had put a plot in place to have him leave his wife so he could marry a fellow Scientologist, which then had him leave the church and be seen as a I can't remember exactly what they call them once they leave the Church of Scientology, but they're basically branded like as a horrible, horrible person. So, yeah, that's his story. Willis, Charlie Simpson, he went on as a secret behind the back of his fellow band members and started another band called Fight Star.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now, Fight Star are fucking unbelievable, and I highly recommend listening to Fight Star. They're pretty like hard rock, metal-y stuff, but when you go, that guy's in Busted, it's like it doesn't make any sense. It will blow your mind. Yeah. Yeah, but
are
you
going to talk about
secret.
Oh, okay. That's
What?
nice. Are you going to talk about the McBusted thing?
No, because I don't really give a fuck, but you can.
I don't know much about it, but I know that it was
Good.
like
All right. Sick.
I know about McBusted. I can talk about McBusted.
What have you?
So-
what do you got?
Can you?
I'm pretty sure in 2015 or something, a few former Busted members and a few members of McFly
McFly, that is it. Yeah.
Oh,
they combined and did an album called McBusted. One
I'm really
song,
disappointed that this had nothing to do with McDonald's. Really disappointed.
one song featured Mark Hoppus from Blink-182 on the vocals. It's
For
called Hate Your
McBusted?
Guts. For McBusted, yeah.
Reminds me of the
Do you think
McBTS.
you think
You know,
they're
the
friends
nugget
with
meal just
McFly
came out?
because of Marty McFly?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Probably.
I
Possibly,
actually think
yeah.
that's right, yeah.
Their whole career is just based around love of Back to the Future.
Yeah, it's all coming together. It's all coming together.
It's pretty good.
It's produced by Steve Robson. This guy's done basically everyone that is on our podcast. He's done Pink, Take That, 5 Seconds of Summer, Little Mix, One Direction. We haven't done a 1D song yet. And James Blunt, which we do have a James Blunt song coming up soon that another guest of ours has picked out of the bucket to do. So we'll be doing some Blunt soon. Tell me about the video, Bevo.
Yeah, okay. Dan Southern.
Okay, I'm gonna make a noise, and that's gonna throw to the video.
A funny
And
noise?
I hope it's gonna be funny. It's a funny circumstance. I took my belt off earlier, or so I thought. Turns out the belt had ripped. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to rip that off. The only way I can get off, so I'm just gonna rip it so I can keep this going. See if it makes a noise.
Here's the video facts from A to Z, and they're coming at you straight from Ryan B. It's a terrible song, and I know you agree.
It's the music video summary.
With Bevo.
Hey.
That's my belt.
Yeah, that'll work.
So,
Right.
so now I can get my belt off. It was stuck.
Okay, here's the music video summary. It's a long one. Make up for my really short one from the last episode.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Busted, or judging by how old they look, Busted's dads travel to the cartoon year 3000 where the world has become bikini bottom from SpongeBob. They find out the cost of living is so high in the year 3000 that the band themselves are still performing concerts 1,000 years later to pay off debts. As a small mercy, they lock their older selves in a room and perform the concert in their stead. 1,000 years of meager Busted album sales means the band can finally play to a crowd of more than 29 people. Fun fact, during this video, the band performed 35 individual pop-punk jumps, totaling an average of a pop-punk jump every 5.85 seconds.
Oh, that's good average.
It's a good average.
They're getting them in. That's for sure.
I bet they didn't do all those jumps
In
in
the
one
first
take.
couple of
though.
seconds, they do about 20 of those jumps.
It's a lot of jumps, a lot of pop punk jumps. Yeah. I've got some YouTube comments for it.
I do too. Anything we want to say about the video just quickly, though?
Well,
I've already forgot everything about it.
According to, because I watched the video before coming on, one thing they neglect to mention in the song is that the entire future is also a 2D animation. They don't specify, because again, going back to the not much has changed, well, the entire future is a cartoon as well. And there's aliens and there's octopuses walking around, and apparently not much has changed, but yeah.
How cut would you be if that's what the future was and then someone came back and it's like, so what's it like? They're like, not much has changed. What?
Everyone's a cartoon that lives underwater, but
Michael Jackson's still there.
Standard stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. Nothing too exciting.
I mean, what do you expect it to be like in 1,000 years? It's bored with it. Yeah. YouTube comment, Bevo?
Yeah, I've got two, so I'll give you one, then you give me one.
Okay.
This one's from Razor 10 months ago. When this came out, I thought it was the hardest rock genre that existed.
It's like, God damn. I've got one from Carl S. from 10 months ago. It says, Peter is an absolute lad, goes 1,000 years into the future, and the second thing of note he tells them is he's knobbing their great-great-great-granddaughter. What a lad.
Knobbing.
What was it like? Nothing's changed. Smashed your granddaughter.
Knobbing your granddaughter.
Yeah. What's your other one, Bevo?
This is from Wee Willy Wanky, 4 years old.
What a name. Great YouTube name.
I like this.
That's up there with dirty shit crimes.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I used to think that they said I took a shit into the year 3000.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
forgot to
getting
bring
yelled
that
at once for singing it like that.
I forgot to bring that up.
I
I
took a
fully
shit to
thought
the
that
year
too.
3000.
Yeah, that would have been
Imagine
a
it's
way
like
better one.
a portal that opens up like as the time machine, but you just take a shit into it. It's just like, I shit into the year 3000.
There's no better waste of an opportunity. Like someone's like, hey, I can take you into the future. Great, take me. You go 1,000 years, you do a shit on the sidewalk and then just take the time machine back.
Just like, we better get out of here.
A flaming shit on someone's doorstep. Let's go back. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Imagine if
better
there
thing to
was...
do- It's better to go
boring
to the
here
past
anyway.
and do that and then know where you're going to be on that day that you come back and there's a shit on the doorstep.
Yeah. Imagine if that's what happened. Like, there's this Stephen King series. I think it's on Stan. I forget what it's called, but it's like this dude says if you walk through this cupboard, through this door, you go into the past. Like,
Oh, yeah, Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe.
yeah,
King.
whatever.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's like you only go to this certain date, and that's all you can use it for. You can't go anywhere you want. Imagine if it was that sort of thing, but it was like you can't travel through time. You can't even see into the future or anything. But if you take a shit through here, it will end up in the future. Like if
in
you
the
were
toilet in the future.
well, if you were presented with that, like you don't have to do it. But if you were presented with that, you'd probably just do it. Just be like,
Oh, if I had a future toilet, I'd be shitting in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be my favourite toilet to shit in,
Yeah.
for sure.
it's like
Yeah.
Don't
this
leave
shit
any
is going to
smell
go into the
behind.
future somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah.
The definition of
future me's
same
problem.
shit, different day.
Give me-
It is. Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, I guess I'll do it. I'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And Mrs. comes in. What are you doing? I'm just taking a shit, sending it to the
Don't worry
future.
about it. Don't have to flush. Yeah. I've got one from Muriel B. This is 2 years ago. It says, which it's sort of, we have discussed this, but it says if they don't play this on the 1st of January 3000, I'll reincarnate from my grave and burn everyone.
I love that.
Christ. Yeah. Yeah.
I got one here. It says, it's from Moonstar Solar. So much Back to the Future references, heart emoji. And whenever I watch this, the Power of Love music video by Huey Lewis and the News always comes up to my mind. I love it. There's not so much references. For starters, like
They say flux thing.
there's two, I think, and one of them is half a description of a reference. Like,
Yeah, that's right. There's not many naked three-titted ladies swimming in Back to the Future that I can think of.
yeah,
Do you have a busted set list, Bevo?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Okay, so we're talking July 7th, 2019 at the War Memorial Park, Coventry, England.
3019.
Mostly songs from their 7th album. This is... They've done a 15-song set with a 2-song encore. So songs 14 and 15 are the encore.
All right.
Included in the set is a Tom Petty Free Fallin' cover, because that's what you wanted out of Busted.
Well, that's why you go, isn't it? Yeah.
God.
Your task is to tell me where... You guys are busted, and you're going to tell me where you would put year 3000 in your set list.
1 through 15, pretty much for me.
It's just on repeat.
Just play
that
it
same song,
3,000
yeah.
times, one for every year, till the year 3000.
Yeah.
No, but
Oh, you'd be so over
seriously,
it.
the first song on the set list is Air Hostess. So Busted comes out. You've paid to see a Busted concert, and they come out and they're like, "G'day guys, we're Busted. Here's our first song. It's called Air Hostess." How disappointed are you?
Yeah, well, you go like, surely they're going to play it next.
Yeah, exactly.
I paid my money.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
they're playing
I'm
2
gonna go-
songs tonight.
Yeah. I'm going to say they play it like the song before the encore.
Okay, so song 13.
Yeah, 13 of 15. Yeah.
I know what you're going to say, Dan.
Song straight after the encore. Number 14.
Yeah, second last.
Second
Always
I'm
last,
guessing, Mike,
man.
you looked up the set list, so you
Yeah,
saw.
I looked up the set list, so I know
that's
where.
all right.
Well, but I think it makes sense to be where it is. It's the only way people are
They
going to
play
stay
it
for the
last.
whole
They play it
concert.
dead last.
It's the last song of the encore.
Yeah, 15th song. But the second last song is a song called 90s. So they're setting you up for...
Two songs.
This was our
one-
year-based album.
Yeah. One song
Yeah.
about a year, one song about a decade, the 90s.
Yeah.
This is the prequel to the song Year 3000.
90s.
90s.
It's about the writing of this song.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
One day
Okay.
when I came off.
At dinner time.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, Ed writing
yeah.
the song.
It's about Waterworld.
This song's about the rowdy boys. It's called 90s.
Oh, this one for all the rowdy boys out there. Okay, a little bit of legacy here. The Year 3000 reached number 2 on the UK singles chart. It became the 34th biggest seller of the year with 165,000 units sold. The single was also a success in the rest of Europe, reaching number 2 on the Irish single charts. It reached the top 10 in Belgium and the Netherlands. Now, the net worth here. You've only got the 3 members in Busted. You've got James Bourne. He's worth 1.5 million pounds.
Oh, pounds.
All right. Charlie Simpson is worth 1.7 million pounds. What is Matt Willis worth in 2021?
Is he the one that was in rehab from age 11?
Correct.
I reckon if he was smart, he would have released a perfume.
Scent of Willis.
Scent of Willis. Here is the smell of what Willis busted.
Flux.
Flux.
Yeah, Flux by Willis.
Flux by
A new
busted.
fragrance.
Yeah.
Bust by Willis.
I reckon he's worth 2 million.
2?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 1.5 as well.
Okay. What, you got anything, Southern, or not?
Didn't I say 20 million?
Did you?
I thought I said 20 million. Sorry if I didn't.
Oh, you were talking about perfume.
I was
Said the
talking
loud
about-
part.
yeah,
You said
I
the
was
loud
talking
part
about-
quiet and the quiet part out loud.
Yeah, I was mainly
He,
wanting to let you know he's jizzed into a
Yeah.
perfume bottle. And he's making money off that.
the
It
real
smells
facts.
good.
Yeah. He's worth 18 million pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
How's he making his money?
Kid done good.
Successful solo career.
Oh, really? Writing from
Apparently.
LC.
No, that's Bourne.
Oh,
That was Bourne. He's worth the less of anyone. Apparently he's got like 3 massive solo albums. Like he plays stadiums as a solo artist.
far
Oh,
out.
wow.
Yeah. Never heard of him.
What was the name again?
But Matt Willis.
Yeah, okay. I'm not
Yeah.
going to look that up.
He's on the Bevo's skeptical. Okay, well, while you're doing that, Bevo, let's rate this shit.
Motherfuckers, this is it. Now it's time to rate this shit.
All right, what are we going to rate it out of? God, so many things
Breasted
we can rate
women.
it out of.
Yeah,
Breasted
breasted
women.
Breast, yeah.
How
Number of
many
breasts.
breasts they have, or how
Yeah.
many breasted women?
Number of breasts on
Okay,
table.
so
breasts,
let's
yeah.
say, a 10 is they've gotten so out of hand with this breast thing that
There's 10.
there isn't any bit of like the human form that isn't covered in a breast anymore. So much so that they've put a breast over their mouth and you choke to death on a breast. That's a 10. You're dead. You hate it. It's the worst song. It makes you want to die. A 10. 1, you love it. You can't get enough busted. You want more busted. Bust everywhere. What
You want to be
what do you give
busted.
it-
You want to be
Started
busted.
admitting to the
busting
crimes.
Yeah, that's right. What do you give it out of 10, Bevo?
The pair of songs that we're doing tonight, that's a peek behind the curtain that we do two in a night, but that's okay.
Jesus, all right. Well, there goes all the bloody veil of mystery with this podcast.
Yeah. For the first time, I reckon, in the whole time we've done this podcast, these fit the mold of these songs actually kind of make me want to die. They're fucking so shit. The next one's worse. I'm sorry, Mike, but the next one's worse.
What's the next one
We'll
you
get to
guys are
that.
doing? Can I know?
We're doing the Christmas Shoes by New Song.
Never heard of it.
Look it
I
up
know.
after this. Yeah.
I'd never heard of it either. Our next guest is from the States.
Okay.
And it's a Christmas song that gets played a lot over there apparently. And if you just want to have a great time and laugh a bit, look up The Christmas Shoes by New Song.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll enjoy yourself. It's horrible.
Anyway, so yeah, this is a flaming dirt of a song, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
An 8. Oh, so many breasts. Okay.
Also, Matt Willis's he had a song on Mr. Bean's Holiday original motion picture soundtrack.
He's got bean money.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
No, not just
Yeah. Southern, what do you give it, mate?
I hate so much that they've used Back to the Future references. I did the little comma thing with my fingers. I hate that they've used that in this song and done a really fucking shit job doing it. So for that, I take away all potential for any points, and it makes me hate the song so much because I love that movie. So they get 10 tits out of me. Out of me.
He's choked to death on the breasts that they put over his mouth.
I genuinely think it's a fucking shit song. Like pop punk just like this. Like I think there's bands like Newfound Glory and Simple Plan that I love, and there's heaps of songs they've done that I really enjoy that sound like this, but this is a really fucking dumb version of that. And they've used Back to the Future references, so fuck off. You're fucking dumb. Your lyrics are dumb. Peter sounds like a fucking psychopath. He's got access to time. He's got access to time travel, and he goes into the future to check out your great granddaughter. Fucking red flags. Kill the cunt.
Predator.
Yeah,
Peter the Predator.
Fucking don't put him in your song.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got an 8, a 10. Mike.
Yes.
What do you give it, mate?
Hey, by the way, my phone just died, so my video would have swapped.
Oh, it's all
good.
good.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna be a bit more generous. I'm gonna give it a 5. Like, I think
Indifference.
What's that? Big difference, yeah.
Indifference. 5 is indifference.
Well, then I'll give it a 4.
Oh, Crazy Frog 4. Ring,
4.
ding, 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 ding. Bam, bam, bam.
What do we have for a froggy?
I just
Bam, bam.
All right.
I think this song makes for a good time. Even if it's a bad good time, it's like on the lower end of good times. I still think it's a fun movie. So, yeah.
It's a moderately good time.
Yeah. It's a time.
Okay.
It's a time.
Look,
Yeah.
it's a safe assumption to say if in 1,000 years this song is very popular, it's a bleak future.
Yeah.
We have to look
That's
forward
true.
to.
Yeah.
Yes. This is like worse than Terminator's future. Yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty bad future. Just
Yeah, that's a
robots.
horrible future. So
fucking
many robots.
Robots
Yeah.
stepping on
Always
skulls
shooting
all
and
the
shit.
time.
Yeah, always. Just step over
Heaps
the
of-
skull next time,
Yeah,
robot.
have
Have
busted.
some respect.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to give it an 8 as well. Yeah. I think it's pretty shit.
Fuck.
Yeah. It's pretty shit.
Made for good
Busted,
podcasting, though.
But great podcasting. So thank you, Busted. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, thanks so much for coming and doing this with us.
This
thank
was
you.
so much fun. Thank you. This was more fun than a trip to the year 3000 by the sounds of it, I guess.
It's just people shit everywhere. in the year 3000.
Doesn't sound hard to do. Yeah. Let's definitely do this again. It's good fun.
Yeah, I'd love to
Good
love
fun.
to come back. I have a few other songs I hate, so Yeah, it'd
All
be
right,
great.
fantastic. Let's save them. Let's save them for you. Tell people where they should see you, listen to you, listen to your life lessons, follow your motivational talk and whatnot.
Thanks, man. So if you want to just see everything I do, you can go to radiomike.com.au. Pretty much all my content is up there. Or just follow my Instagram, radio.mike. I do a bunch of content on that. So I'd love for you to check that out.
It's so good. You must be the busiest man in the world.
What?
Like, it seems like there is so much content coming up that's more than just us sitting here talking into a microphone.
I mean, I'm trying to put stuff out, but I mean, not much of it is getting any traction. So I don't know.
It's good stuff.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Well, it's good for us. So
yeah. Well,
someone's listening.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah.
I feel like you're on the you're right on the verge there of something just going absolutely ape shit for you.
Oh, cool.
And in a year's time, I'll hit you up and be like, "You want to come on the podcast?" And you're like, "Blocked."
No,
it's like Greta.
Yes, like I've had such a bad time that I block you. Yeah.
Just like Gretel Colleen did yesterday when we...
Gretel Colleen.
Gretel Colleen block you?
Come on, Gretel.
Why?
No, she didn't block me. She very politely declined to come on the podcast.
Why is that?
For now.
Was she like,
with good reason.
Was she like, it's time to go, 1001 podcasts that make you want to die? Is that what she said?
That's how I read it.
She said in no uncertain terms that she didn't know enough animal facts. So
right.
I'm sorry, I'm not an expert in animals.
Did she say?
We'll get radio. We'll get radio, Mike. Then.
Do any of these animals have big brothers?
What's that?
So she probably wants to know if any of the animals have big brothers.
So dumb.
Then she come on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks again, Mike. Everyone else, get fucked.
Safely.
Yeah, fuck off, everyone. Fucking hate you all, especially you. Yeah,
you're right.
I'm talking.
You're
Beverage.
No.
He needs to hear this.
Hey.
No, he's fucked. You stay out of it, Bevo.
It's only fair that we get